This is Andi Purewal, Boxing News. I'm joined by promoter Eddie Hearn. I'm the end of another fight night here in Florida. Eddie, let's just start off from the top and work our way down. Richardson Hitchins with a comfortable and dominant unanimous decision victory there against Jose Zepeda.
Yeah, good performance. I mean, I said, look, you know, to beat Zepeda 120, 108 is always a great performance. Obviously had a close fight with Ramirez, had a good fight with Regis Prograis. Now, I want to see Richardson sometimes step on the gas a little bit more. It's hard because obviously I know what people want to watch. He's in there having the fight. He comes from a hit and not get hit school, which is 100% the thing to do in boxing. But just for me, just want to see him step on the gas when he's dominating an opponent. And you know, I think it was a good performance, not spectacular, but it shows the levels that he has in the division to beat a guy as good as that so widely.
Sandy Ryan versus Jessica McCaskill. A lot of boos when those scorecards were announced. I think a lot of people felt Sandy had done more than enough to have a hand raised. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I did as well. I mean, look, we worked with both fighters, and it's not Jessica's fault. I think she put up a great fight, but I thought Sandy was sensational. You know, she boxed at times, she fought at times. Jessica came back in the fight. I probably had it 98, 92, 97, 93, something like that. But it's just, I don't understand how we get a scorecard like 97, 93 to McCaskill. Even in the Conor Benn fight, I mean, I lost my rag a little bit after that because I went over to the judges. 96, 94. It's one round away from a draw. What fight are you watching? I don't understand. And you're talking about people's livelihoods. I mean, you know, Sandy Ryan had a chance tonight. It was a life-changing moment for her. You know, we can do the rematch, no problem, but we shouldn't necessarily have to do the rematch. And it was a really good fight. We should be talking about what a great fight it was. But I feel like Sandy Ryan should be walking away as unified world champion tonight.
When do you look to make that rematch?
Maybe towards the end of the year or January or something like that, you know. We'll have to look. It's an unexpected rematch, really. You never think that you go into a fight thinking there'll be another one like. But, you know, I think Sandy deserves her shot, and Jessica may feel she'd do better as well.
Conor Benn, the return, whether people wanted to see it or not, he came back tonight, went to points. What did you make of it?
He's so exciting. I mean, you know, talk about Richardson Hitchins. It was great to watch. Conor Benn is just fucking box office every time. I mean, you know, you just heard the question, was it good matchmaking or bad matchmaking? Probably bad matchmaking, if I'm honest, because you could have chose someone that he could just brush through in 3 rounds. Orozco's never been stopped, and his manager who worked with in Mexico messaged me after and said, told you, he's got the best chin I've ever seen. Fuck me. I mean, we'll have him back. You know, he put the pressure on, he took it to Conor Benn, he took the kitchen sink, he was hurt badly in one of the rounds. But I think, on reflection, it's what Conor Benn needs. You know what he has to do on these fight weeks now, answering these questions, doing these Zooms, getting all this criticism. He's been for an awful lot, and I thought it was a really, really good performance from him tonight. I think, looking back, 10 solid rounds against a big opponent, you know, a massive 154-pounder, and if he gets the Eubank fight, that's a good fight for him in terms of style and size as well. So, lots to come, and I think really good to get the rust away tonight.
Do you think, or did any of the criticism which has come Conor's way this week about his return, has it affected it more?
I think so, yeah. I think he'd say no. But I don't see how it can't. You know what I mean? Like, he's lived in a bubble of criticism for 18 months. So I think it's going to affect anyone. And I'm proud of the way he's performed tonight. I'm proud of the way he's, you know, got himself through fight week. And now hopefully we can move on. But I thought, you know, as always, just so exciting.
I think a lot of people would have thought with him returning, they would have seen that ending highlight reel knockout. Is there any disappointment that maybe you didn't get?
I mean, like I said, maybe we should have got a Muppet. Do you know what I mean? But when you get a bloke who's never been stopped, who's got one of the best chins I've ever seen, is it good for him in the long run? You know, if he would have done 2 rounds tonight and blown someone away, is that really getting the cobwebs away? Shows you he's got work to do. And, you know, Orozco can come again for sure.
One of the talking points earlier this morning when it came out, Chris Algieri wouldn't be on comms for this bout and this evening. Can you just tell me why that was?
Yeah, I don't do the production. We don't do the production. DAZN do the production. Obviously, there was a lot of... you know, comments from Chris Algieri that I didn't agree with and Conor didn't agree with, and, you know, don't really want any more distractions. It's a small arena out there. Those boys have already boxed once. But no, I don't know too much about it. I think there was some conversations with some of the team. I don't think Conor Benn ever said, I don't even think Conor Benn knew about it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just read that Chris Algieri got paid but didn't come to the show tonight and someone else was used.
Eubank Jr. fight, December 23rd, the working day. Can talks progress? When do they progress?
We're ready to make that fight. You know, we'll speak to the board next week. Obviously, we've had offers internationally for that fight as well, but ready to make the fight. Conor's got a small cut. He's 13 weeks away, no problem at all. Have a couple of weeks off now. I think he needs it, and then straight back into camp. Eubank may fancy his chances to make, you know, a nice few quid. and have one of the biggest fights in Britain. So hopefully we can get it made.
I just want to ask about that. When you speak with the board with regards to their appeal and what have you, how much can that hold up Conor's return to the UK?
It's up to, at the moment, like I said, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be allowed to fight that fight in the UK. But it's a conversation to be had with the board.
Emma Williams with some valuable rounds tonight against Steve Rolls.
Yeah, good. Like Steve Rolls is it's a big win for Ammo's resume. Won the fight quite comfortably, and again he's got to just be a little bit more clinical at times as well. But I thought, bear in mind his experience, good result.
Joe Joyce, stoppage loss again tonight to Joshua-Zhang. What did you make of it?
That's what I said. I told you he gets stopped within 6 rounds. I just think he's taken too much punishment in his career. I think he's had a great run. He's 38 years old. He's had hundreds of rounds of heavy duty sparring. He's got hit an awful lot in his career. The last fight was brutal to watch, and tonight was a mismatch. And he's come in 2 stone heavier, and he's not moving. He's not moving his feet, he's not moving his head, and he's just a punch bag. And it was a brutal knockout. The first one was like a wearing down. This was a bad knockout. And again, I don't think you should ever say it's a fighter's. You should tell a fighter to retire. But I think the people around him will say, that's your lot. You can't fight dangerous heavyweights. And Zhang, he can whack. He don't have a huge amount of speed. But there are very, very dangerous heavyweights out there, as dangerous as Zhang with more speed. And I'm not sure. Joe's attributes used to be his toughness and his chin, his durability. Now that that's gone, I don't think he should, be fine at that level.
I imagine Frank's got an option on him on the back of this victory. You have Anthony Joshua. That fight's been spoken about in the past. I'm sure he has some demons of facing the southpaw he'd want to overcome. Any interest there to try and make Joshua-Zhang?
Yeah, I think it's a big fight for China. I mean, obviously our plans is to fight Deontay Wilder first and foremost, but I think AJ would have no problems fighting Zhang. We've looked at him as an opponent before, specifically out in the Far East, so we'll have to see.
Seen a couple of things which suggest Charr might be on the table for AJ.
No, we've haven't really had any conversations or negotiations with Charr. His team reached out to us. I think he's fighting Jarrell Miller, but yeah, no real in-depth conversations with any opponent at this stage.
And just final one, just on the suggestions that Showtime might be moving away from boxing, with the exception of a pay-per-view platform.
Yeah, again, you hear a lot of rumours on social media, and I said that about Showtime a few years ago, but I have heard that same thing from reputable media sources in the last 48 hours, but we'll see.
Eddie, thank you.
Cheers.